Rockeyez would like to welcome Emmy award-winning Stan Bush. Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Great, great, great. New album, 12th studio album, The Ultimate. Let's get a little bit into the album. How much different is the approach after, like, the tenure of, 12 studio albums, working on a new one?
Yeah, it takes a couple of years to come up with that many really good songs. It's that's the process that sort of takes time. You can't just like whip them out. It's
right.
Like developing ideas and so forth. And anyway, but yeah, it's been a labor of love.
Cool. I watched the video this morning, Unstoppable. I love the track. It's probably my favorite song, on the album and stuff like that. The album is also being released in Europe on Melodic Rock Records and your label here in the States, in LA Records. Tell me, working with Andrew McNeese for Melodic Rock Records, how'd that develop into a relationship and you being, I guess, either signed or he's doing distribution or whatever? Tell me a little bit about that process.
Well, I've known Andrew for a long time. I did some shows like in Europe and met him at a couple of festivals I performed at in Germany and also in the UK back in the 90s. So I've known Andrew for a long time, and I've always respected his integrity. He writes reviews. He reviews a lot of albums, and if he doesn't like it, he'll say so. So he's one of those kind of rare people that. Anyway, he and I started talking about the possibility of working together. It just seemed like a natural fit, because with his sort of press, credentials and connections and so forth, he was able to get the word out really all around the world, but especially like in Europe as far as the new release, and so it's been a good thing.
Cool. You're also going to be headlining his Melodic Rock Festival #4 in October 3rd, actually. You're headlining the first day of the festival. How'd them talks go, with Andrew, actually you being the headliner for that show?
Yeah, that's coming up in Chicago, October 3rd, like you said, and let's see, yeah, he's got, he talked to me about doing the show last year, actually, and this even came up before we decided to do the album release together, so I committed to doing the show because it's I'm in LA, but Chicago's not that big of a flight. It's a couple hours, I guess, 2.5, 3 hours maybe.
Right.
But yeah, we're excited about that, and it's going to be good.
Cool. Now, when you write a song and you're on stage and you see somebody singing the song with you and stuff like that, what kind of impact does that have on you as a writer?
You mean in the same band?
No, like someone in the audience, like they're looking
band.
At you and you're singing the song and they're like mimicking you word for word.
I got you. It's actually an amazing feeling. That's when I first went to Germany on tour. I opened for Lou Gramm on my second trip over there. It was the first tour in Germany, and a lot of the kids, they all knew the songs already, and I could see them singing along, and it was an amazing feeling. It's very gratifying.
Right.
It's like you see with some famous artists here, and it's a cool feeling.
Cool.
Because they must have listened to it a lot to know the words that well.
Oh, definitely.
So sometimes if I forget the words, I can just look at them,
Wow. When somebody tells you, one of your songs or lyrics, impacted their life in some way, what's that feeling like?
That's absolutely the best feeling of all. I got a fan letter. I've gotten several, but this one in particular really touched me. It was about the song "The Touch" and also "Dare," about how I guess this kid at one point was contemplating suicide, and he said those songs changed his life, and I mean that's huge to hear something like that. So that was great.
Right. And most of your songs are on a positive note also. I noticed that, even with the video, Unstoppable, really upbeat and, I guess, sentimental in a way,
Yeah, it's funny. People ask me how I started into that sort of vibe. I guess it's kind of all started with the touch. It just seemed like a natural fit for me. I don't know. And since then, I've written a lot of sort of go for it, believe in yourself kind of things. And yeah, it may be a little corny, but the cool thing is it really works. I mean, I always believe that we make our own reality, and if you have a real positive outlook, amazing things can happen.
Right. And you also got to work with many, top artists like Alice Cooper, and you wrote stuff with Paul Stanley of Kiss. How did either one of them affect you, or how'd that go down, say, singing with Alice Cooper or writing with Paul Stanley?
Yeah, I sang backgrounds on the Alice Cooper record, and he's actually a really nice guy. He's kind of like you wouldn't expect him to be sort of a regular guy, but he's not so crazy and wild in person. But let's see, the collaboration with Paul Stanley was through my producer at the time, Kurt Como. Kurt produced like 3 albums with me during the 90s, and the Shine album was the last one we did together. But he's a friend. We still write together. I also wrote with Jonathan Cain from Journey. When Journey broke up, we were talking about doing a band together. At one point, I also auditioned for Foreigner when Lou left the band. So they flew me to New York, and so I've definitely been around and worked with some of the top people. Jim Vallance, who wrote with Bryan Adams, he and I wrote songs together. It's amazing. Like I was talking about the Jonathan Cain and Jim Vallance, how those guys, they're really talented and brilliant and everything, but the thing that separates them, I've noticed, is just it's a work ethic thing. I mean, these guys will work 12 hours and just they really do work, and then you end up with something great.
Cool. Now, is it easier for you to go out and do like many different projects that compared to just sticking to one thing? Because you do commercials, songs for commercials. You had songs covered by House of Lords and Quiet Riot, and now you got your own solo album. 12, not new, but I mean it's new, the 12th album that you just released. But when do you have time to take a break?
Well, a lot of that stuff, like you said, the things you described happened over many years, but it's sort of I kind of do it all. I've been a studio singer in Los Angeles for a long time. I was the voice for Toyota trucks and Coors Beer back in the glory days of rock, and it's pretty cool. I mean, like people will see the Jean-Claude Van Damme's first 2 movies, Kickboxer and Bloodsport, and late at night on cable or something, they'll say, "Oh, Stan Bush,"
Cool.
So people don't know that I sang a lot of those things, and it's kind of cool. I mean, because they sort of went on to become classics to some people. The Touch especially has been sort of my signature song. It was in Guitar Hero World Tour, and it was in Boogie Nights. There's a cool coincidence, too, because Mark Wahlberg sang the song in Boogie Nights, and he's starring in the new Transformers movie, so it's kind of a neat coincidence. And anyway, but yeah, the Touch has been in, it was in the latest Transformers game, too, Transformers Fall of Cybertron.
Cool.
It's been kind of a new version of the Touch with the Touch Power Mix, and that's on the album, on the Ultimate.
Great. Is music everything you ever desired? Would you think about, like in your early days, going into something else, or your heart was always in music?
Well, yeah, it's sort of always been in music. I perform locally. I've got a couple of different bands I'm with. One in particular is really cool. It's called the Acoustic Saints, and we do like Zeppelin and a lot of cool covers, and we do our own arrangements of things. We have a guy that plays killer acoustic guitar as well as mandolin, violin. So we do all these neat songs, and it's fun. The bass player from Quiet Riot is in it, and myself, and we have a percussionist too. So it's fun to perform doing that kind of thing, as well as when I do an original show. Like last year, this time I opened a show at the Greek for it was Styx, REO, and Ted Nugent. And Ted Nugent didn't want to go on first, so he said, well, why don't you get a solo acoustic guitar player? And somebody said, well, what about Stan? So cool. I went and played for like 5,000 people. I played like a 15-minute opening show, just a little unplugged thing, and the people loved it.
Wow. Yes. I love it.
Nervous at first with a lot of people.
Yeah. Definitely. What's the rest of the year look like besides Melodic Rock Fest 4? Well,
there's an event coming in the end of June here in L.A., the Transformers Convention. It's called BotCon.
Right.
And I'll be probably appearing there. I'm not sure if I'll perform, so don't quote me on that yet. I can't announce it officially, but we're discussing that. And I'm just doing shows in L.A. and things that we talked about some European dates as a possibility as well. So I'm sort of waiting to see what develops.
Cool.
But mainly I'm just doing interviews and promotion for the new album.
Great. Well, congratulations on the Ultimate, and I guess I'll see you in Chicago because my whole staff is going out there again. We went to every one so far, and
great.
Andrew does an amazing job bringing in some quality artists like yourself. Would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Well, just thanks a million for the support. I really appreciate it, and please check in stanbush.com to see what's up and what's going on.
Definitely, and pick up the Ultimate. Definitely.
Thanks so much.
No problem. Talk to you later, Stan.
You too, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.